builders. 2. The fire devas. The greater builders. A. Introductory statements. B. The functions of the devas. C. The devas and the planes. 3. The solar angels. The Agnishvadas. Introductory remarks. A. On the fifth principle. B. On individualization. C. On incarnation. D. On the building of the causal body. 4. The fire elementals. The lesser builders. A. Introductory. B. Physical plane elementals. C. Elementals of the ethers. D. Elementals and the microcosm. I man, as a creator in mental matter. 1. The creation of thought forms. 2. The process of thought form building. IV man and the fire spirits. 1. The will aspect and creation. A. The condition of the magician. B. Construction of thought forms. C. The occult significance of speech. 2. The nature of magic. A. Black magicians and white. B. The source of black magic. C. Conditions for white magic. 3. 15 rules for magic. A. 6 rules for the mental plane. B. 5 rules for the astral plane. C. 4 rules for the physical plane. Under this division we shall briefly give an outline of the study which we will undertake upon this vast and stupendous subject, for, as it definitely concerns the evolution of man, and his power eventually to create, it will be wise for us to take up the matter in some detail. This section is not intended to give interesting bits of information and the devas. I only seek to deal with the matter in its practical application to man, and to give as much of the necessary knowledge as will enable a man to control and build his own system, to understand the method of creation and to comprehend somewhat the lesser lives and the paralleling deva evolution with which he may be concerned. I thought forms. 1. Their function. It will be noted that in studying this matter we have not started with that which is most apparent, the exoteric form in mental matter, but with the inner life or idea within the form and with the laws that govern the creative aspect. This function of every thought form is threefold. To respond to vibration, to provide a body for an idea, to carry out specific purpose. Let us first study the logoic thought form, and then turn our attention to the thought forms fabricated by the thinker from the systemic mental planes, and in mental matter. We have to note that, in the case of the logos, all upon which we have to base our conclusions are his physical manifestation, and his quality, psychic nature, aroma, emanation or magnetism, as we see it working out through the form. Hence we are very much handicapped. A. Response to vibration. It is always recognized in occult circles that the whole object of human evolution is to enable the thinker to respond to every contact fully and consciously, and thus to utilize his material sheath, or sheaths, as adequate transmitter of such contact. The most easily studied human thought form is the one the ego creates through which to function. He builds his sheaths by the power of thought, and the dense physical body is the best sheath that at any particular stage of evolution can at the time manufacture. The same can be predicated of the solar logos. He builds by the power of thought a body which can respond to that group of vibrations which are concerned with the cosmic physical plane, the only one we can study. It is not yet adequate, and does not fully express the logoic thinker. The vibrations to which the systemic thought form must respond are many in number, but for our purposes might be enumerated as mainly 7. 1. The vibrations of the cosmic physical plane, viewing it as all the matter of that plane which exists outside the logoic ring pass not. It concerns the pranic and akashic fluids and currents. 2. the vibrations of the cosmic astral plane as they affect the physical form of divine manifestation. This involves cosmically the action upon our solar logos of the emotional quality of other cosmic entities, and concerns the magnetic effect upon him of their psychic emanation. This, in view of the fact that his dense physical body is not a principle, is of a more potent nature than the first set of vibrations, as is the case also in man's evolution. 3. Vibrations from that which, within the logoic consciousness, is recognized as the logoic higher self, or his emanating source. This brings the solar system within the vibratory radius of certain constellations, which have a position of profound importance in the general evolution of the system. 4. Vibrations from Sirius via the cosmic mental plane. 5. Vibrations from the 7 rishis of the Great Bear, and primarily from those 2 who are the prototypes of the lords of the 7th and 5th rays. This is a most important point, and finds its microcosmic correspondence in the place which the 7th ray has in the building of the thought form, and the use of the 5th ray in the work of concretion. All magicians who work with matter and who are occupied with form building, either consciously or unconsciously, call in these 2 types of force or energy. 6. Certain very remote vibrations, as yet no more appreciable in the logoic body than is monadic influence in that of average man, from the one about whom not may be said, that cosmic existence who is expressing himself through 7 centers of force, of which our solar system is one. 7. A series of vibrations which will become more potent as our logos nears that period which is occultly called divine maturity, which emanate from that constellation in the heavens which embodies his polar opposite. This is a deep mystery, and concerns the cosmic marriage of the logos. It will be apparent, therefore, how little can as yet be predicated anent the future of the solar system until the vibrations of the 6th and 7th order become more powerful, and their effects can consequently be studied more easily. It is not possible here to do more than indicate the 7 types of vibrations to which our solar logos, functioning in the material body, will in due course of time consciously, and fully, respond. He responds to vibrations of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th order quite fully at this time, but as yet, though responding, cannot fully, and consciously, utilize these types of energy. The vibration of the 5th order is recognized by him, particularly in 3 of his centers, but is not as yet fully under his control. The other 2 are sensed, and felt, but so remotely as to be almost outside the range of his consciousness. In carrying out these ideas in connection with man and the thought forms which he fabricates, such as his material sheaths, the correspondence can be worked out within the system, and from the point of view of the planetary schemes in which man has his place. The work of man as he builds in mental thought matter and constructs forms extraneous to himself, we shall deal with later. The methods whereby vibratory response is brought about might be enumerated as follows. Through the factor of time in evolution. Through extra-systemic stimulation and intensive training, whether for a logos or a man. Through the process of initiation, and the application of the rods of initiation. The factor of evolution is recognized and studied by many schools of thought, esoteric or exoteric. The extrasystemic stimulation involves a large number of factors, but the main 2 to be remembered are that the stimulation will be applied through the group to the unit, through a more evolved kingdom of nature to a less evolved. As regards the 3rd factor of initiation, it must be borne in mind that we are here considering only the great initiations, and not the numerous expansions of consciousness which can be traced through all kingdoms and all manifestations. In connection with what we have considered above, and the primary function of the thought form, the power to respond to vibration, I would emphasize the necessity of remembering that that response must be made by the inner embodied idea, and that it will then through a complex reflex action, bring about response from the material sheath which veils it. Vibration is the result of subjective impulse, and makes its appeal to the subjective consciousness through impact upon whatever may be understood as substance. This impact is transmitted direct to the inner life, and in due turn is retransmitted to substance in the form of recognition or realization. An analogous process may be studied in the nerve reactions of the physical frame, and their alliance with the brain consciousness. As will be seen in the three worlds of man's emprise, man will work as a creator and will follow a similar procedure. His thought forms will be constructed of mental matter, chosen specifically because it vibrates to the same type of vibration as the idea, seeking embodiment, and these forms will persist as does the logoic thought form, the solar system, for just as long as the factor of will, or dynamic vitality, continues to hold it together. This brings us to our next point. B. To provide a body for an idea. In this statement we have latent the basic principle of incarnation, and of activity, even of existence itself. It involves the expansion of our idea to include the cosmic mental plane, as we consider the logos, and as the creative faculty of man is studied we are taken to the mental plane of the solar system. One fundamental thought must here be given and pondered upon. This creative impulse, this tendency towards the concretion of the abstract, this inherent ability to take form, has its fullest expression as yet in physical matter. The raison d'être is that for man all substances with which he creates, all forms which he builds, and all processes of concretion which he carries on, are created, built and carried on within the physical body of the logos. Herein can be found the reason for the emphasis laid in nature on the sex aspect, and on that of physical reproduction. It can be seen in all the kingdoms of nature, with the exception of the first and fifth. This is a most significant point, and the exceptions should be studied in their widest connotation, for they contain the basic mystery of sex on the involutionary path, and on the evolutionary. In them we have the two extremes. It will have been noted that as the idea that the solar system is the physical vehicle of the logos, and his body of manifestation is grasped, many problems become elucidated, and 2 points especially will gradually be apprehended by the student, if he meditates and studies. First, that in due course of time, as the logos achieves liberation from the trammels of physical matter, the whole objective system will come to be regarded as an idea, or concept, clothed in a veil, or sheath of subtler matter than the physical, and the logoic body will be viewed as the product of will and desire, and physical matter in any of its grades will not enter into its composition. It will simply be a desire body. This will bring about a condition of affairs inconceivable to us, and only to be somewhat apprehended by the man who can function upon the systemic Buddhic plane, the fourth cosmic ether. Bear in mind here that our astral plane is but the sixth subplane of the cosmic physical plane, and that this provides us with no real grounds from which to reason concerning the cosmic astral plane. Only when the astral plane is a calm receiver of Buddhic impulse, or a liquid reflector of that plane, which will not be till the close of the Mahamanvantara,